Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Frostbyte. On the screen, you see deal or value. You see a slabbed coin, and you see what we call a raw coin. And we're going to be talking about, is it a deal or is there value in it? But in order to really understand the premise of that, we need to talk about some terminology. So stay tuned because we're going to look at some coins and then we're going to break down the terminology, talk about exactly what it means, and help you make better decisions when you're looking at descriptions on coins. Now, as you can see today, I'm looking at gold coins, but this doesn't just go for gold. You can utilize this for silver coins and anything numismatic. So when we look at this particular one, we're looking at two coins that are MS63, and then we see a BU coin. I want to look at the prices of the MS63s. So you'll see that we have a PCGS coin, MS63, 2.5 Liberty, Quarter Eagle, and then we have one from NGC. And there's a dramatic price point. I don't really understand why there's a dramatic price point here. There may be a population thing. Maybe this particular vendor has a special relationship with one of these grading companies that can get some of these items for a little bit cheaper, and they don't have to recoup their grading fees or things of that nature. I'm not sure exactly why there's the value here. A lot of times coins from PCGS will resell higher than NGC. Isn't always the case, but again, I'm not really sure why there's a massive difference in price here. But what I really want to look at is I want to look at the two ends. I want to look at that Quarter Eagle on the right, the raw BU coin, and then I want to look at the one on the left. And which one is the better deal? We have a 63 that is $10 more, and it's already slabbed. So if you were to look at this, which one would be the better deal? Well, it kind of depends, and here's why. First off, we have to understand the terminology of what BU is and what the various levels of BU. But then we also have to understand the grading fees, the shipping fees, and other things that are associated with getting a coin slabbed. So in this particular case, if I was to look at this and I was to purchase this coin, I would definitely be buying the slabbed version of this. Because for $10, you're getting something that's guaranteed an MS63. Now, why do I say guaranteed MS63? And that's where the language for BU comes into play. So I'm going to be talking about terminology, and we talk about this stuff all the time. You hear it in streams, you hear it in conversation, you hear it when you go to auctions. But what do the terms actually mean? So let's go ahead and start with that term BU. You looked at the coin that was there, the gold coin, and it said BU. Well, in the grading term, usually this refers to coins in the range of MS60 to MS62. Now you understand why I said the potential value of the one on the left was much greater than the BU coin on the right. Because that was a guaranteed MS63. And if they're classifying this as BU, then most likely they see something with this coin and that coin isn't going to reach that MS63. So if you want the higher grade coin for $10 more that's already slabbed, it's a no-brainer. Now, if you don't like slab coins, or you just want the gold, or you just want the coin to go in a tube because you collect them, or maybe you're trying to fill an ASC, maybe you're trying to fill the maple or something like that, then I understand that you would only want to buy the raw coin. And it's no problem. But let's look and talk about value, especially if you're a numismatist and you're looking at getting those coins of the highest grade for the best possible prices. So again, when we're talking about MS60 to MS62, there's going to be some things that are maybe unsightly, some heavy nicks, scratches, or potentially other imperfections, or maybe that luster is there, but it's just not where it should be. And so they're going to fall under that BU banner. Now, the place you're going to see the BU the most is when something comes out of rolls. They're brilliant uncirculated, they've been in rolls, they're there. But not every coin in that tube is going to necessarily be BU. Some of them may be better. And this is why it's really important to understand the terminology. The next level to this is one that many of you have probably heard, and that is Choice BU. Now, Choice BU is traditionally assigned by collectors and dealers to refer to coins grading approximately MS63. Now, there's still some adjective grading when describing pieces like this, but you could have a GEM or Choice BU, excuse me, that grades as high as MS64. This is where the first caveat comes into play. People who are really good at grading understand one premise that many of us miss, and that is there's more to grading than just looking at the coin. You need to understand the coins that you're looking at. You need to understand the design elements. You need to understand the year that you're looking at. And year matters. Because if you're looking at certain coins, the strikes on that year may be weaker than other coins. Have you ever looked at a coin and looked at two coins side by side and they're different years, but this one grades at 63 and this one grades at 65? But the 63 looks like a much better coin? Well, that's because the other coin the other year may not have had the quality of strikes that they had in the previous year. 1926S comes to mind when we're talking about Lincoln cents. They were synonymous with having poor strikes. And so to have a really high grade is an extremely valuable coin. Whereas if you have a 2010 and you have something in 68, it may only fetch a couple bucks. So understanding the year and understanding the strikes of that year is very important when you're grading coins. So please take that into consideration when you're looking at these and don't use these terms arbitrarily. The next one we're going to be looking at is Select BU. Now, this is something that I haven't heard very often. I've heard it kind of with the older generation, but I haven't really necessarily seen this. This one is reserved for describing coins that are the MS64 kind of borderline, the top of the Choice BU, right? So you're talking about the exceptional eye appeal. So if they grade 64, this is where you might get that plus, or you might get that star rating from something like NGC. And that means that the coin still grades in that area, but it has exceptional eye appeal. A lot of people call them what they would call handsome, right? It's a handsome coin. But again, when you're talking about the Select BU, it's just got a little bit better quality to it. Next in the list is GEM BU, and I know you guys have heard this one. GEM BU, Brilliant Uncirculated. This is the landmark MS65. So when you talk about circulating grades, this is the one that really starts to lead into that old adage, if you're going to collect a coin, collect 65 or better, right? This is kind of that landmark grade. So if you see something GEM BU, you're really looking for that MS65 grade. Now, a lot of people have said coins are GEM BU, but they come back at 63, 64. So again, it's really important that the buyer beware. Caveat emptor. This is very important because it's up to the buyer to validate and verify what's been said. So don't take the word of somebody else unless you know the level of expertise they're with. So if you send this off to get graded, you know that these people have a good understanding of what grading is. They have a good understanding. They see thousands and thousands and thousands of coins. Yes, it's open to interpretation, but they're going to be pretty on spot most of the time. However, if you go to a coin shop and they're trying to sell you something, they need to make sure they really understand what they're doing. And just because they work at a coin shop doesn't mean they understand how to grade. That's something to keep in mind. But when we're looking at GEM Brilliant, it should be, just top notch, right? It should be something that should be very few marks, should have good solid fields, nice clean luster. That luster should be really, really nice. So you're looking for a really good solid coin. Then we come to the last one for this particular area, and that's Superb BU. Now, I've never heard Superb BU until I started researching for this video. This is a coin described as brilliant uncirculated, equivalent to 66 or 67. Now, this should be the best of the best. Now, we're not quite talking about perfection when you get into the 60s, 69, 70s, but this is one of those that from the eye, it should look like a perfect coin. And again, when you're talking about people who understand grading, they're going to be looking at the nuances. They're going to be looking at specific strike. They're going to be looking at the high points of the coin. They're going to know these things. So really, take the word of the person who really understands grading. You're not going to see me grade something MS66, MS67. I'm only good up to about 62, 63. After that, I just don't know enough about the design elements to really grade coins effectively. So I have to reach into my bag on my network and say, hey, I want you to come up and help me understand what the grade of this particular coin is, and is it something that I want to send in? And this leads me to another point. I want you to subscribe to the channel. Allow me to pull my network together to help you. So if you have questions about coins and you're looking at specific grades, or you're looking at what is an error, what variety is this, and you're really wanting to gain some assistance, subscribe to the channel, come watch our videos, join us on Saturday and Sundays when we do our live streams, and ask those questions. That's what we're here for. Again, a couple pieces that I really want to drive home. If you don't know grading, please don't use these words just because. Okay, they do mean something, and words matter. The second one, caveat emptor, buyer beware. There's no greater warning. This should be the mantra of everybody who purchases gold, silver, or anything numismatic. Buyer beware. It's very, very important. Okay. And lastly, while you're here, I'm going to display two videos. One of them talks a little bit about the channel, and then the other one talks a little bit about things on coins and some of the histories and the nuances that are there. Go check those out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, love you, be well, be blessed, and I will see you in the streams. Take care.